Good morning, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Grandpa coming to you from the Italian marketplace in South Philly. This is a street that Rocky ran down. I know he ran down in the first Rocky movie. Probably did it other times. I've run down the street, although during the day it's not a fun place to jog. But if you're from Philly and you're a jogger and you go long distances, like I used to leave from our house, my parents' house, or the house on Tulip Street where I lived with your dads, Arlo and Frank, and I would jog down Delaware Avenue along the Schuylkill or the Delaware River, and go into this neighborhood here. It's interesting. And you had a lot of open space on Delaware Avenue. But actually, I'm in Jacksonville Beach, and this is some sort of a video that I'm watching. It's winter time because they're busting up. I can't remember what they call those things. That put things on. Your Uncle Sam would get them and fix them up and sell them, because that's the kind of guy that he is. But today we're in the book of Matthew. We're in chapter 20. This is a kind of a potpourri of things. It has parable. It has prediction about Jesus' death. In fact, we're going to see the third prediction of his death. So more and more as we get to the end of this book, and the last chapter is chapter 28, we're going to see Jesus warn people, mostly his people, that, hey, this is what's going to happen to me. And we're also going to see a mom come up and try to get special treatment for her two sons, which is a normal thing for moms to do. Skids, I think they call those things skids. Moms do that for their sons and their daughters. We'll see how well that goes for her and for them. And then we're going to see a healing. So there's a little bit of everything in here, and that's what a potpourri is. Potpourri, I think, means a pot of stink or something like that, and a pot of smell in French. And it's something that women have in their house. It's a bunch of dried up flowers and things that smell. And they go like, oh, you got a potpourri. Yeah. But it also means a whole bunch of things in one place. And that's what we have here today. Chapter 20, verse 1 says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire workers for his vineyard. And after agreeing with the workers for the standard wage, he sent them into the vineyard. When it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, he went out again and saw others standing around in the marketplace without work. He said to them, 'Go into the vineyard too, and I will give you whatever is right.' So they went. When he went out again about noon and 3 o'clock that afternoon, he did the same thing. And about 5 o'clock that afternoon, he went out and found others standing around and said to them, 'Why are you standing here all day without work?' They said to him, because no one hired us. He said to them, you go and work in the vineyard too. So there's all these people now that he's hired during the day. And this is something that still happens. If you go to, and this is late 2023 that I'm recording this. So, I got a commercial here. You can go to a Home Depot and there'll be people there, new arrivals in the country usually, and they're waiting around for somebody to hire them. This is especially true down in Miami. You don't see it really here in Jacksonville Beach or in Jacksonville proper. You don't see it. But all these people, you would think, are going to get a different amount of money. Normally, when you work for somebody, they pay you every hour. They give you a certain amount of money. So at the end of the day, they'll say, okay, you work 10 hours, and we're giving you $10 an hour, so here's $100. Let's see what happens here. When it was evening, the owner of the vineyard said to the manager, call the workers and give the pay, starting with the last hired until the first. When those hired at 5 o'clock came, and that's just funny too. So the last people are going to get paid first. The people that have been there all day, went there early in the morning and spent all day there, they're going to have to wait until everybody else gets paid. So it's like, wow. When those hired at 5 o'clock came, each received a full day's pay. And when those hired first came, they thought they would receive more. So this is why the story is set up this way, because it's teaching. It's a parable. It's to teach you a lesson about something. So you can't have the first people getting paid first, because then they'd be gone by now. They'd get paid and split, go home with their families. But you have the last get paid, and then they have to wait until they get paid last. So they get to see what everybody made. And they're thinking, we've been here all day, man. We had to get more. When those hired first came, they thought they would receive more, but each one also received the standard wage. When they received it, they began to complain against the landowner, saying, these last fellows worked 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who bore the hardship and burning heat of the day. And the landowner replied to one of them, friend, I am not treating you unfairly. Didn't you agree with me to work for the standard wage? Take what is yours and go. I want to give to this last man the same as I gave to you. Am I not permitted to do what I want with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first, and the first last. So this is a parable about the Christian life. You get saved, and I'm saved. I got saved in 1996, but I spent 43 years not being a believer. Some people are believers from the time they're little kids. They give their life to Jesus. But I get just as much as they get. And that's the simple thing. If now at 70 years old I finally gave my life to Jesus, I would get the same thing that I would have gotten if I gave my life to Jesus at 10. Now, the difference is I would have lived 60 years as a believer, which is much better. Here we go. So they're going to give us another one of these commercials. So it's better to live as a believer than a non-believer, but the reward is eternity in heaven. So everybody gets that same thing. It's not like you get to heaven and they go, oh yeah, you believed longer than you do, so you're this guy's boss. And it's not like that. It's the only egalitarian system ever that that is awesome. I don't know how else to say it. All other egalitarian systems devolve into mayhem. As Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took the 12 aside privately. It said to them on the way, look, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and the experts in the law. They will condemn him to death and will turn him over to the Gentiles to be mocked and flogged severely and crucified. Yet on the third day he will be raised. So, once again, third time, he's telling the 12, he has a whole bunch of disciples. Not as many as he did at one point in time, because they keep dropping off. Eventually he's going to have 11. And after he's put to death, let's see what happens with those 11. Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came to him with her sons, and kneeling down, she asked him for a favor. So this is the mother of John and James. He said to her, what do you want? She replied, permit these 2 sons of mine to sit one on your right hand and one on your left in your kingdom. So this is interesting because she understands. She's been listening to the kingdom of God is like blah, 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 blah. But she wasn't listening to the workers in the vineyard thing. It's another lesson. The Bible does a few things for lessons. And this is like, okay, we gave you the parable. Now we're going to show you somebody who doesn't get the parable. Although she gets the fact that there's going to be a kingdom and Jesus is going to rule it. Jesus answered, you don't know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup I am about to drink? So they said to him, so she's got the boys with her. And hey, here's my 2 knucklehead sons. I want you to hook them up when you get to the kingdom. And he's like, do you know what you're doing? And they, the boys, now they take over. Oh, Mom's got her back. She got in there, got us in with the boss. And they said to him, we are able. He told them, you will drink my cup, but to sit at my right and my left is not mine to give. Rather, it is for those for whom it has been prepared for by my Father. So what he's saying to them, the cup that he's going to drink is to be killed by people who don't understand who he is, and some do understand who he is, and that's why they want him killed. And he's saying to them, yeah, you're going to die horrible deaths. So you're going to get your wish to drink my cup. But this is all structured. Now he is God, but he's God the Son in this form. It's very hard to understand, and I don't understand it completely. Nobody does. But God the Father, that's the way it works. He's the big boss. Now when the other 10 heard this, they were angry with the 2 brothers. So now everybody, there's a buzz going through the crowd like, man, hear what these two just want. They want to be at the head of the line when we get to the kingdom. But Jesus called them and said, you know what the rulers of the Gentiles lorded, that the rulers of the Gentiles lorded over them, and those in high positions use their authority over them. It must not be this way among you. Instead, whoever wants to be great among you, you must be your servant. Oh, instead, whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first among you must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So, this is a hard lesson. He's saying, oh yeah, you want the glory at the end, but watch what happens to me. And I'm the God of the universe. I'm going to let people abuse me. Yeah, they're going to abuse you too. And they will be right in there when they get to the kingdom. But don't try to figure out who's the coolest and everything. It's Jesus. he's the cool kid. You want to hang with the cool kids. I always tried to hang with the cool kids in school. In fact, I always try to hang with the cool kids everywhere. Oh, good, we get another. I think every time you touch the computer, it does this. As they were leaving Jericho, a large crowd followed them. 2 blind men were sitting by the road. When they heard that Jesus was passing by, they shouted, have mercy on us, Lord, Son of David. So, they know who he is. By saying Son of David, they're saying Messiah, Mashiach in Hebrew. The crowd scolded them to get them to be quiet, but they shouted even more loudly, Lord, have mercy on us, Son of David. Jesus stopped, called them, and said, what do you want me to do for you? They said to him, Lord, let our eyes be opened. Moved with compassion, Jesus touched their eyes. Immediately they received their sight and followed him. So next we're going to see him in Jerusalem and in his final days. Until then, peace out.